Protocol initiated. Comlink online. Systems functional.
Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft BroodWar Remastered. Today, it's going to be one heck of a 3v3 fastest map sent to me by RJB. It's a very long fastest map. The replay length is longer than the actual game by like 30 minutes, so I'm wondering why. So let's go ahead and see who is here today. Top left, it is a red Protoss. It is Astrophysics. Cool stuff. His teammate in the bottom right is a blue Terran. It is Indianul 28, of course. And on the right side, it's a dark blue Terran. It is DLDGR. On the top right, Team 2, it is Grafty. He is a Protoss. We have another Toss bottom left. It is not Savior Sword. It is Yawapazimkunini, of course, as always. And on the left side, we've got another Protoss. It is Tetolino. So it's a Protoss team versus a Protoss Terran team. Absolutely no Zerg representation here today. We can red versus blue it from time to time. But at this point, I think we just recognize that if it's a Protoss, it's somebody on Team 1, unless it's Astrophysics who's red. I think we can do that. Astrophysics is never start 2 racks, always racks depot or depot rack. He's talking to his teammates of build orders for fastest map. He said something earlier. Oh, we don't have much history. He said something earlier about are you noobs or not, right? So yeah, look, there's the racks coming in here from DLD. My goodness, having to say the name DLD, kind of tough. Now your supply block, says Astrophysics, who is going a very standard 3-gate opening with 3 zealots at a time, pressuring the enemy, defending as necessary with those zealots. He can do that in his sleep and coach his teammates as necessary. So here's the other Terran who did go for a racks supply depot engineering bay. What the fast NG bay here? What is going on? What is up with that? Anyway, if you're here because you like fastest map and you're like, I didn't know Falcon casts fastest map. I do cast fastest map quite a bit, especially on the Sunday streams where players submit their replays to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com. And on the Sunday stream, which starts at usually around, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern, we do a lot of fastest map casting. Been doing it for years. I love fastest map. Gonna be a good time. So, we've got Astrophysics scouting one of his enemy Protoss players. And now, this is a tricky thing about PvP in fastest map is this zealot can get probe kills. Normally, you'd be like, yeah, but look at this zealot. Dude, like, he's chasing him around. How could he possibly get probe kills? Because it takes longer for a zealot to kill a zealot than it takes for a zealot to kill a probe. Right? So I'm surprised he didn't go for a probe kill there. I mean, Astrophysics is 300 APM. He's supposed to be, somebody who knows what's up. Oh, he's got his... Okay, now he outnumbers. It's a 4-3 situation here with these Zealotes. And Astrophysics is going to win. Oh, no micro here from Tetolino at all. Come on, Tetolino. Oh, he just lost all of his... I don't think he lost... Astrophysics didn't lose a single Zealot here. What the what? I mean, he's targeting that one, so he's going to get it because he's very injured. Now making a beeline over here. We've got another Zealot coming in to defend from Yowie. We're going to call him Yowie because that's fun. Oh, we got a cancel on a cannon. Another cannon coming in, and now we're going after those probes. See, look, the Zealots are trying to kill the red Zealot before the probes die, but the probes are dying faster because they die faster because they have less HP. Dude, this is absolute chaos here in the opening stages, but that's what happens when there's a lot of Protoss involved. To get this Zealot stuff, the probe count for Tetolino is down to 4. Down to 3. Can he get another one? Yeah, he does! Down to 2. Tetolino's at 2 probes. And all it took for Astrophysics was like, 4, maybe 5 total Zealots over here. That's exactly what I was talking about. Brutal stuff. Tetolino's in a lot of trouble. His cannon came up, but it was after the enemy Zealots were already dead. I love that Indianul and DLD are just kind of sitting in their bases hanging out. Like, they've got nothing to do here. They're not sending Marines out. They're not getting fire bats against all these Zealots. Honestly, if you've got a triple Protoss enemy team, what do you guys need to just go like 10 fire bats and 3 medics and just melt face? The problem is when you deal with Dragoons with those fire bats, but look at this. Look how many Zealots there are for you to kill. I mean, you're not going to do well against cannons. Fair enough. But against the Zealots that are surely to be running around, the fire bats would be great. So I just like to see a Terran player do that at some point. Astrophysics is now coaching, no longer microing his face off over here at the yellow base. What he wants to do is have his his teammate scan See, that would require them to have a ComSat station. They need to have a scanner if they're going to do that. Astrophysics, I apologize that they don't. I'll talk to them about getting an academy. Oh, he has an academy. DLD has an academy, and he hasn't gotten a ComSat. He's like, okay, we need scouts. We need scouts of what's going on out here. Guess what's coming over? An empty shuttle. Cool. Is he getting Reaver Tech? Is he? I guess it's Storm Drops, right? Templar Archives. No sign of a Reaver Tech building or robotic support bay. Oh, it's a DT drop. Doesn't have to be High Templar. It can be Dark Templar. I love that. Yeah, I guess I didn't see Storm come through the production tab, but also doesn't really matter. Dude, DTs. Turret, beautiful. Bunker, beautiful. This guy did get an NG bay fast. So he's got detection. Get turrets in your corners, says Astrophysics. This might actually be RJB in the Astrophysics seat here. He's got the high enough APM. He does like to coach his teammates in team games. He knows what he's talking about. This could be RJB, the man, the myth, the legend himself. The guy who supplies me with all of my replays these days. The vast majority that I cast. Semi and SCV, he says. Oh, he's going to go multi-race. Well, DT's on load, and there's, again, bunker turret is a pretty good combination against DTs, but there has to be stuff inside the bunker. Dude, these bunkers are empty? Ah! 7 has drops. Get a turret in your main. Oh, he had a turret in his main. All right, so this is the end of the world then, unfortunately for India New 28. Okay, that's good. The shuttle died before it got back to pick up more DTs to send into the base. There's no ComSat here. He's sending the Marines back like it's going to do something. He doesn't have scanners. He doesn't have turrets. He's building turrets desperately. But Indianul is down to 11 SCVs, 10 SCVs, nothing on minerals. Everything's on gas. Those are dying terribly too. He's just absolutely getting murked. This is Tetolino and Indianul. Look at this. They got a scan. They got detection, and it doesn't matter. They didn't have enough Marines. 11 kill DT, 13 kill DT, 3 kill DT. This, okay, and then Graphite decides to go attack someone who's got a pretty solid bunker set up here. Although, I don't know, bunkers behind the barracks might have been a better move here. Got a lot of Marines. Do they have stim yet? It'd be nice if they had stim. I don't think they do. I'm not seeing any stimming. I'm not hearing any stimming. Oh, boy. All right, so Astrophysics might find him. Oh, a Firebat. One Firebat shows up, and all the Zealots are like, whoa, get out of here. Trying to cannon up the middle is Tetolino. Astrophysics says, no, definitely not. DTs are still continuing to just ruin Indianul's base. He's having the worst time of all time. Tetolino's not putting probes on minerals. I don't know what else he's trying to do. I guess he's microing his Zealots out here and trying to kill our guy, DLD. I mean, there are no medics here, so maybe there is no stim. Maybe we're just... Yeah, imagine having teammates in 2025 who get Marines and Firebats and don't... There's a scan. There you go. And it doesn't have stim. Hasn't researched it. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Oh, scan wore off, and now that there are still more DTs. Okay. So, oh, there's a scan, but is it too late? Or just walking through the scan? Oh, we'll kill this tank, why not? Firebat. Firebats against DTs. Pretty good, too, but not when the DTs are invisible. All right. Astrophysics has some DTs over to try to save his buddy, but... Dude, this DT should get on top of these minerals. On top of these SCVs. There's nothing to stop him from doing that. Man, I love just making sure that tanks aren't part of the future equation here. That seems pretty nice. Machine shop dies. Factory probably going to die here, too. Where's the detection? There are turrets to the right. Yeah, check this out. We got DTs from Astrophysics trying to defend against all of these Zealots and DTs from the enemy team. The enemy Protoss team is looking extraordinarily strong. And look at this. Like, his buddy, Indianu, tried to build inside DLD's base, but it's too late. It doesn't matter. Oh, my gosh. There's another scan. You got turrets here anyway, though. Kind of a waste of a scan, if we're honest. The turrets are getting sniped out. The DTs of Astrophysics are doing what they can. 8 kills on this one. 2 kills on this one. It's invisible men versus invisible men right now. But SCVs are dying at an alarming rate for Yowie. Or not for Yowie, for our guy DLD. And, okay, 10 kill DT. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. 5 kills. Totally, mostly saved him. I don't know. He's got 11, 10 SCVs remaining. The Academy gets sniped. I don't think these DTs can see each other. What? When's the last time you saw DTs who didn't see each other? Oh my gosh, that's great. And now, I mean, with the scan, obviously, great. But unfortunately, that's the only scan that we're going to get for a long time because that ComSat station just died. Sniping the armory just for the heck of it. We're just knocking DLD back to the Stone Age in overall tech, dude. He's got nothing. He has a barracks and an engineering bay. Oh, he has barracks up here too, but yes, it is barracks tech. Look at all these DTs. We got DTs from Astrophysics, DTs from Yowie just running around. Can't see each other. Can't attack each other. Can't defend. I like it. We're just patrolling, I guess. Is he bringing an obs down? I don't think so. Yeah, both these Terrans are deader than a doornail, dude. These DTs made sure you couldn't re-land back down here in Dianul. And now lifting and evacuating his own base is DLD. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, well, Storm drop! Yay! Tatolito, his economy! He brought it back from the brink, and now he's back down to 5 probes. Trying to attack into Astrophysics' base. He's got a lot of Dragoons. Psystorm on the defense. Cannons there, too. Not a bad combo against gateway units like this. And once again, I just want to point out, Astrophysics has a lot of TTs down here, not accomplishing a whole lot. But DLD's at 4 SCVs. He's got a command center. He's re-landing the command center. Some of the friendly DTs are in the way a little bit, I would assume. Ay, caramba. So yeah, that's it, man. We're now, they've taken out the Terrans. Now they're going after Astrophysics, Yowie, Tatolino, and Graphite. Graphite's the only player, well, Graphite and Yowie haven't really been bothered today. 51 and 40 probes will indicate that's the truth. Reaver Tech is up from Graphite now against, yeah, enemy cannons and enemy Dragoons. Reavers are going to be pretty good. And then Yowie's like, I got more stuff. What if we just kind of dropped back here? And, drop some Reavers back here. Oh, I don't know if that is enough. That's definitely not enough Dragoons, but we're firing on some cannons. That kind of screws up the pathing here. And the targeting for these Reavers. And the Reavers do end up going down. Unloading on top of cannons with your Reavers, not exactly advisable. But he did it anyway. The command center of Indian Newell is trying to fly into Astrophysics base. Might actually make it. It's actively burning down, but the burning down speed in BroodWar is not very fast. Holy cow. Yeah, this is a crazy good game. I gotta say, this is a crazy good 3v3 so far. It looks like Astrophysics is on his own for the most part. Although, I don't know, DLD's back up to 10 SCVs. He's got 2 command centers. After all of that, the ability to lift off your bases is a massive, massive help in situations when you lose your base. Right, that'd be a dead Nexus, that'd be a dead hatchery, you'd be out of it. But Terran's got the survivability. This command center down to 200 hit points. Like I said, it doesn't burn down very fast. You should be able to land and build a couple SCVs and repair it. But like sharing minerals with a Protoss like this, it's so far away. It's just, I don't know. I mean, at this point, you just want to tell him to make tanks, right? Like, whatever money you have, get a factory, build some tanks. Oh, yeah, it has a factory. Machine shop, yes. Big fan. And marine production continuing here from DLD. Not that they were much of a help earlier, keeping him alive. Which, whew! All right, first 14 minutes were an absolute blast. A ridiculous blast. More shuttle shenaniganry here from Yowie. He's got 140 APM. He's not exactly, you know, down at the 20 APM of these Terran players, but he's also not at the 200 mark, which is a good mark to hit. Show a great player. High Templar getting in there, getting storms off, but also dying terribly to Reavers. Dude, I like the mass caterpillar strategy here from Yowie quite a bit. Yeah, bring the Zealots in front to do some kind of the tanking, and then the Reavers behind, but actually kind of doing it backwards here. That's not great. Yeah, see, look, Psystorms on the Reavers. They don't exactly die immediately to Reavers, but they are getting hit. It's a weird angle to attack at. Where are you going? Astrophysics is trying to make an attack down here into Yowie's base. Yeah, 4 Reavers versus 1 Reaver with High Templar and some cannon support. Yes, these Dragoons want to attack so bad. Move aside and let the Dragoons get in here, man. Drop from Astrophysics. The bottom left on top of the... There you go. Reaver on top of the Nexus here. High Templar 2. We pulling... No, not really. No, not so much pulling. And Yowie's down to 15 probes. So an absolute bloodbath of economy from everybody in the game so far, except for Graphite and except for Astrophysics, who's at 90 probes. So this does get cleaned up thanks to Reavers, thanks to cannons, but the economy has been murdered. Yowie's going to be slowed down a little bit. This Reaver's still alive, mind you. Looks like finally some stuff other than the Reavers managed to get in the front. Oh, I don't think they were going to kill you until you shot them. You triggered their aggro table, bud. Don't want to be doing that. But Yowie's here, Graphite's here. 120, 136 supply respectively. Upgrades are +1 attack and +1 attack for the enemies. And it's a one. Is it a 1-1-1? 1-1-2 upgrade situation from Astrophysics. Nice. Big fan of that. So better upgrades in a mirror matchup of Gateway Unit versus Gateway Unit is good. Fleet Beacon on the way from Astrophysics. He lifted my barracks. Lift the barracks in my base is Astrophysics. You don't need the barracks anymore. I need the room for things like gateways and stargates and whatnot. Has he already taken... Yeah, he's at 230 supply. He is building his own factories. He's not even trusting his team. Yeah, he's got command centers coming up and everything, so he's definitely 2-racing. As soon as he said, send me a worker, I was like, all right, he's multi-racing in this game. So 2 races are better than 1, historically. DTs from Astrophysics are not detected. There's an obs right here from Yowie. I don't think it really mattered. That was too many DTs anyway. Again, with the upgrades as well. 222 is now done across the board here from Astrophysics. Getting upgrades in a game like this means you are paying attention. Graphite's only at +1 attack. Tetolino's at +1 shields, which again, he's kind of gotten murdered economically today, so the fact that he's got any upgrades at 17 minutes is kind of impressive. Looks like Graphite wants to build maybe some cannons this way to make sure any kind of drop that comes through to his base is going to have a hard time. Drops continuing from Yowie. Economy back up to 30 probes. No bank to speak of. Going to have a hard time with that one, without a doubt. So, yeah, better upgrades, better army value. Ice water during a cast is truly some of the best stuff in the world. Delicious. Lift the eBays too, says Astrophysics. I need the real estate, man. You getting his tanks out yet? I don't think he has any tanks out yet. But he is using SCVs to supplement his mineral income. He's got 5,000 minerals, 88 probes, and whatever number of SCVs are actually mining there too. It doesn't keep track of those for us. It's just overall supply count. We don't get worker count in multi-race games like this just because they're so rare. It's not really worth accounting for that, I guess. More command centers. He's using command centers for the supply, and you lift the CCs. They still provide supply when they're in the air. It's something we see quite a bit of in Fastest Map. And you can do it in regular games, too. If you find yourself in a game where you don't have a lot of real estate as Terran, make a command center, lift it off, and bam! Real estate reclaimed. It's pretty good. Again, the lifting is one of the best aspects of being Terran. Looks like Yowie's trying to finish off Indula. We haven't talked about DLD for a minute. Is he just... He's trying to get a storm off? Oh my gosh, Marines. Why does this guy not build medics? Does he think... Like what? Does this dude think he's in some kind of a StarCraft 1 type thing without BroodWar abilities? Because, oh, then he just wanders in. And the storm on the command center was not going to do much there, but 19 kills and 5 kills there. And the massive attack from Graphite on the front as our guy DLD looks like he might be out of it for real this time. as Astrophysics is trying to get out of his own main base to save the day. Zealots against Dragoons are pretty good, even if they don't have as good upgrades. It's a 1-1 situation from Tetalino now, which again, I'm giving this guy tons of props for having upgrades at all, considering how bad his economy has been to start the game, and the fact that he's not putting his probes on minerals nearly as much as he needs to. He has way more gas than minerals. He needs to maybe be harvesting less gas or put more dudes on the blue stuff. Either way, main base of DLD is dead. Thanks for coming, DLD. We hardly knew ye. Another drop from Astrophysics. He screwed it up. I think he screwed it up. I think too many cannons. He lost the shuttles that had stuff in them. You want to send, at this stage of the game where you have a ton of cash and supply and stuff, you want to send a bunch of shuttles and then send the empty ones in first, and then they die to the cannons, and then the back shuttles win, and they unload, and they kill the things, and they don't die. Maybe they die later, but not before the drop happens. Anyway, DLD's struggling. There's still a command center down here from Indianul. He's got 10 APM. He's effectively given up at this point. He could be mining. He could. I mean, is at 49. Wait, hold on. He's got 1 SCV. How does he have a 1 SCV? Because he's building stuff other than workers? Okay. Well, the tanks are up. Probably going to get a tank recall in siege mode from Astrophysics here soon. One of the coolest things you can do in StarCraft. It is one of the rarest things in StarCraft as well. Astrophysics says, what if you didn't have cannons at this 12 o'clock spot? What if I killed all of them with Reavers? How would that go? Not well. Not well, says Graphite. Not a big fan of it. That is just mass Zealot here. So, mass Zealot, honestly surprisingly okay against Reaver Dragoon. Like they're going to kill... Oh, the unload. Doesn't matter now. Yowie's here with like 12 friggin' Reavers. Oh, siege tanks. He's like, wait, siege tanks? What? Ow, ow. All right, there's 0-0. Oh, they have +1 attack. Of course they do. Good upgrading from Astrophysics. Siege tanks doing what they can. Bit of a hard wall at the front. Building a command center to wall off his front. Putting the tanks behind it. It's one of the more impregnable ways that you can defend your own base. It is good stuff. DLD says, smiley face. He's got a command center. He's floating it into the very cramped and crowded base of Astrophysics. He's got 2 refugees with him now. Not a lot of room, just gotta say. All right. Well, the Reavers did okay, and then a million goons showed up. That's not going to work out for them. Numbers do not make sense. Recall's on the way from Astrophysics. He is getting EMP as well. So he's going for science vessels and orbiters and tanks. And then, I don't know, maybe some Reavers and stuff too. Who knows? He's at 253 supply. What a match so far. Tetolino trying to stay alive as much as he possibly can. He's at 92 total supply, 52 probes, which is the better economy he's had for a while. Red Master, says DLD. Yeah, Astrophysics is probably better than everybody in this game. But it is a 2v3, or like a 1v3 at this point. Let's be real. Yeah, Indianul is just, he's not capable of getting back on his feet. I think he's long distance mining. Yeah, with 2 SCVs right now. Look at the return path on these SCVs when they have minerals. Why does it go all the way around? I guess there's a nexus in the way. Is that the problem? Dink. 4 minerals. Enjoy. Big draw. Oh, a scout. Falcon Paladin. StarCraft cast scout guarantee. Wait, no. It's only for streaming. Only for streaming does it count for scouts. But we got scout. He's pretty good against shuttles, it turns out. Shuttles can't fight back. Going for the drop anyway, man. I don't know about this. But all right, unloading and storming, and Graphite down to 16 probes. Storming Reavers that are trying to respond to this thing, trying to target fire down the Nexus. Might end up getting it, but probably not. Not with the amount of Dragoons defending here. Clearing up some space for like a tank recall to kill this thing would be awesome. At the end of the day, moving tanks out. They've got a +1 armor now, in addition to the +1 attack. I assume they're working on, yeah, vehicle weapons. Ship weapons is coming in. It's going to be battle cruisers. Is that the play? Also just making arbiters. Just nothing but arbs here. Oh, there's the recall tank. Just across the wall. Cannons are no match for recalled siege tanks. Ah, sick stuff here. Gonna unload on top. I mean, ow. Unloading on top of the tanks is not working very well with your Dragoons. Okay, wow, that was a pretty big fail drop from Yowie. Not a big fan of that one. Zealots on top of the tanks work if you can see the tanks. They aren't invisible. They're being cloaked by astrophysics. Unfortunately for you Zealots. Yeah, look at this. They come up here and they're like, but we can't see anything. I guess you can kind of Zealot bomb. He went up there, and then these tanks across the wall fired on the Zealots, and then they did some splash and killed a couple of the tanks over here. So you can still do that on invisible units. I wonder if that's intended by Tetalino, like he's doing that on purpose, or just the weird running around pathing of the Zealots is making that happen. Who knows? We've got 4 carriers in production here from Yowie. Astrophysics continuing to build things like, you know, Charon boost. And more tanks, just like Protoss players always do. The multi-race is great. 260 total supply. How do you get that much supply? Well, you gotta be Protoss first and get one of these red guys. Then get an upgrade, and then mind control a worker from an enemy faction, and then start building from their tech tree from scratch. From beyond scratch, because you have 1 worker and no command centers or hatcheries. Anyway, hallucinations on the way from Graphite. We've got our disruption web in production here from Yowie. Okay. A little D-web on the enemy tanks. Could be interesting. We don't see that done a lot in 1v1 games. The few times I've seen it attempted on my channel, it doesn't work. You try D-web against tanks, it just doesn't last long enough. You'd think it would be good if you could set it up properly, but no one's been able to do it. I had a game. I had a PVT on Outsider. I forget who the players were, but it was some pretty high-level PVT, and the Protoss was like, aha, I've D-webbed your tanks. And then they start moving in, and before they really kill more than a couple tanks, the D-web wears off and everybody dies. So the original D-web in version 1.0 of BroodWar, right? Because that's when it was introduced to the Corsair. D-web lasted for like 2 minutes. It was the longest spell. There's that mission in the Protoss campaign in BroodWar where they have you D-web a bunch of spores, enemy spores, and it sits there. It's supposed to sit there forever while you kind of like load up your shuttles and wander them over. Nice tank recall again. Ah, Zealots and tanks. Recalled this time, trying to cover against incoming melee units that might kill the tanks otherwise, but friendly fire splash is still bad. But then they were like, that is too good. So they reduced the length of D-web significantly and then kind of lost its use, unfortunately. It's like what they did with Scouts. Scouts were too good in OG 1.0 StarCraft. And so they made it more expensive, right? They gave it worse stats. They made it cost more supply. And now nobody really makes Scouts anymore. It's kind of sad. They overcorrected. It's like how the NCAA in America sports gave the college football team for Southern Methodist University the death penalty for cheating in college football recruiting rules, and then it took them 40 years to get back up after they were the penalties had hurt them so much. So it's like, yeah, you want to, penalize people. You want to, nerf some stuff if it's too powerful, but if you overcorrect, you can kill it. And that's not fun. Not at all. I love that both Tetalino and Yowie are going for air weapons upgrades. Another tank recall. Yeah, this is just Tetalino's main base dying. He's expanded down here. And by that I mean he has a lot of tech structures and production down here. Hasn't really expanded down here. Probably should. Guess it's pretty good against recalled siege tanks. Hey, carriers are pretty good against recalled siege tanks. But guess what's good against carrier stasis? The stasis against the recalled tanks. You are awesome, says Indianul. Astrophysics is like, yeah, man, if you could contribute to this game in ways other than stroking my ego, I'd appreciate it, but that's honestly probably asking too much. Yeah, some of the carriers have arrived that are not stasis, so maybe a restasis is in order here. Yep. This one in the back appears not to be stasis either. There's like, yeah, 1 carrier's worth of interceptors flying around up here. Siege tanking in, and oh boy, Tetalino Okay, somebody got, there it is, 27 kills. One of these tanks got all those kills. This one's got 20, one of them at 25 as well. Yeah, 26 and 28. Yep, economy for Tadalino is dead. The carriers come out of stasis because stasis isn't permanent. Crap. Well, my whole recall tank strategy kind of struggling here. How do we make up for it? Well, more Dragoons and tanks and Arbiters, obviously, continue to stasis the heck out of these carriers. And then fall back to cannons as necessary, because interceptors are kind of sort of bad against a lot of cannons. So Tadalino's main base is alive. He's got 2 Nexuses remaining. You probably should just start building down here. Just build a Nexus down here. Don't worry about this base anymore. Astrophysics, 275 supply. He's working on mech upgrades, because of course he is. Tanks, Dragoons, High Templar, Arbiters. He's going to deal with these carriers with stasis and maybe some Dragoons. He's not planning on doing anything else against them. Wraiths would be tough, because there are observers here in this army, and I mean, that's always the problem rolling the dice with Wraiths against carriers, is that eventually they'll have detection, and then all of your Wraiths die. Ooh, Argus Jewels on the way from Yowie. Dude, you are getting Corsair upgrades for the Corsairs you don't own. I don't think he has any Corsairs. Production tab says he's making carriers, which do not benefit from Argus Jewel. Pro tip from Falcon of the day. It's like on a Jeopardy question about StarCraft. What unit benefits from the upgrade Argus Jewel? And then you say, what is the carrier? And no, Yowie, you've lost $800. Definitely not. I don't know. I was excited. I saw D-Web. I'm seeing Argus Jewel, and I'm like, dude, awesome. Corsairs out here, D-Web and all this stuff would be rad. Doesn't help against the Arbiters, obviously. Doesn't prevent them from stasising these carriers endlessly. Man, Yowie's got a lot of carriers. He's got 221 upgrades on said carriers. The carriers of Graphite is at 100. Oh, Graphite. And then Arbiters are at 130 attack upgrades, because Arbiters with attack upgrades don't really matter. I have had a game where Snow went like 4-port Arbiter and just had a ton of Arbiters in a PTT and gave them attack upgrades, just kind of style on the Terran. I want to say it was even a good Terran. I want to say it was like Rush or even Light or something, which is crazy, but yeah, if you want that replay, let me know. I'll send it to you. Just go ahead and leave a comment asking for that replay. Ask for any kind of a replay in the comments, and I will reply to that comment and let you know what I know. I'll give you a link to what I have. It's kind of nice. I'm not so big that I can't be doing that. I read your comments. I respond to them. Just ask anyone here if that's true, and they'll say it's true. People have had interactions with me that way. All right, so there's no carrier micro here from Yowie, right? It's going to make it easier to deal with when they kind of stack up and they don't carrier micro at all. I mean, carriers are scary even if you're just A-moving them. I still kind of feel like a mass scout tech switch here from Astrophysics would be so cool. He's getting Goliaths out to fight against these carriers, which I support as well. I'm just, in this map, or on this map, on a fastest map, I'm not sure. I'm really, really not sure that Dragoons are the answer. I just don't think they have the range for it. Hard for them to reach all the way across walls. Goliaths have Carillon boost. Here we go. Psystorm. Goliath shots. We're hearing carriers die left and right here from Yowie. Graphite just moving carriers in that I don't think have any interceptors. Nope. That's what happens when a carrier loses all their interceptors. And he told him to A-move. They're like, okay. And they go right in and die. It's very sad. Yowie's got 170 supply of carriers. Arbiter count, surprisingly, actually pretty high. Some of these guys could be used for, oh, I don't know, stasising these carriers more. That would be nice. But yeah, look, there's no micro, then yes, the Goliaths are going to win these battles. The Goliaths are absolutely going to win these battles. Man. All right. Well, Carriers keep dying. Yowie's down to 171 supply. Goliaths with Carron boost and a full 3 attack are always going to hit carriers like a sack of bricks. A ton of bricks. And here we go. Time to move out. Astrophysics on the charge here into Graphite's base. Losing an Arbiter just because he kind of A-moved it over here. That's not ideal, but it's all right. 3-3-3 Dragoons versus 0-0-1. Dude, Graphite, why don't you believe in upgrades, my friend? All right, so Graphite kind of sucks, too. He doesn't suck as much as Indiannual or DLD does. He's still got 60 APM. He doesn't believe in the power of upgrades nearly as much as he should, and this whole 297 supply Protoss mech army of Astrophysics should get in here and take him down pretty much immediately. I mean, it's a lot of Reavers. You don't really need upgrades for Reavers. They hit really hard as it is. They're actually kind of wrecking this in a very impressive way. If they wander into the siege tanks, they're going to have a hard time, and they probably will do that. Bringing the Arbiter. There are Dragoons here. And a bunch of Zealots from Yowie come in the backside to shut it down, too. Okay. We have detection. How? Who is providing detection here? Or maybe that wasn't happening. I don't know. Dude, cloaked tanks, man. Cloaked siege tanks are a menace. Did all of his Reavers die? I think all of his Reavers died. Yeah, so another round should be able to take him out. The carriers, these are Tetalinos carriers? Yeah, some of them. Yeah, these are Tetalinos carriers. Attack and interceptors, kind of running out of steam here. Astrophysics still has 220 APM. It's not the 300 it was earlier. Freaking Indiannual is just bringing in money. Like, what? For what? What is... He's got 20 supply? He's got a couple command centers he's lifted off for the supply purpose. We talked about that trick earlier. Astrophysics continuing to get air upgrades. Is he trying to go battle cruiser here? Like, what's... Valkyries? Maybe. We have seen him use Valkyries against enemy... Well, we've seen RJB use Valkyries against enemy carriers before. The clumped up carriers versus Psystorm is just not great. The carriers will die. They will be evaporated extremely quickly there. It's not a lot. It's just the thing. Yowie's maxed out. Tetalino's maxed out, but it's just never a giant ball of enemies to deal with. They're kind of over here a little bit and over here, and I guess they're all kind of in a line. And there's the harassment from the south here on Astrophysics' base. DTs and Zealots as a pretty good answer against tanks and Goliaths. I like that move from Yowie a lot. A lot. DLD says, I'm sorry, for being terrible. Is he trying? He's got 30 available supplies. Is he trying to build up here? I think RJB's just given up on his Terran teammates at this point. He's like, you know, they're not going to provide any assistance today. Let's just not worry about him. I'm not going to try to keep him alive. I'm not going to coach him anymore. It doesn't really matter. Once again, when these carriers are over here, your Dragoons really have a hard time dealing with them. Wait, he's got a Goliath. DLD has a Goliath. Get him. Get him, Goliath. Shoot a thing. Sometimes they don't shoot a thing. Sometimes they just get distracted by how many interceptors there are and they never shoot a thing. It's like he's tracking them. He's tracking the things. Man. What a match. What a 3v3 here. Astrophysics continuing to do his best against 2 enemy Protoss. 3 enemy Protoss, one of whom, well, they all have carriers. They all have carriers. Are they all maxed out on carriers? No. They've all got pretty good supply numbers here. Graphite at 151 is the lowest. Again, stasis on carriers is a temporary solution. It doesn't actually do anything to kill them. Astrophysics has 47,000 minerals and 8,500 gas. Is slowly and surely starting to edge out and maybe set up a central location in the middle of the map, but no, Yaoi comes from the south and shuts it all down. Not allowed. Graphite trying to build on the right. Why the heck are you getting a second base? He's got 23 probes. Just needs to make more probes is what he needs, and work on upgrades. He is working on air weapons and ground weapons, so he heard me and said, that's a great idea. Let's go ahead and get some upgrades, Falcon. Thanks for coaching me from the future. These cannons of astrophysics, he's trying to get them up. He's trying to get them up. And he will successfully get them up. Stop me if you've heard this one, but Yaoi's got a bunch of carriers to the south of Astrophysics' main. And he's just kind of parking them on the other side of the wall and just kind of firing at whatever he can. That's really what it is. Getting knocked back into his base again. He's got 3-3 mech upgrades. Tetalino's at 1-3-1. The carriers are at 3-3-2 from Yaoi, and then Graphite's still got this just upgrades, man. How is Astrophysics not winning this thing right now? Upgrade advantage plus the total supply of 260. I just kind of feel like that should be enough to win from this position, but it is not. Ah! Carrier's just kind of running in here. What the? Tetalino just runs his carriers into Astrophysics' main base, doesn't kill the Nexus, doesn't really kill that many probes. There's still 69 probes here for Astrophysics. Nice. He killed a couple cannons. That sucked. Tetalino down to 116 supply because he just suicided some carriers into a position that he could not get much done with. The Psystorm was too much. And Astrophysics was looking for drops. He was looking for that kind of stuff without a doubt. Stasis again. Dragoons bouncing around like idiots. They can't get through here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, all right. Whatever. This is just slog. It's a slog for Astrophysics. APM slipping down to 192. I still think a mass scout strategy as opposed to spending all this money on arbiters was the way to go. I think the enemy's making a bajillion carriers is one of the best times to make scouts. And maybe he will. Maybe he'll get into scouts. This game isn't over. This game is definitely not over. But man, tap that like button if you're enjoying it so far. Holy smokes. What a fantastically weird 3v3 fastest map. Can Astrophysics pull off a 1v3 situation? Will Indianul actually provide support? He's got somehow 28 supply of stuff. I guess maybe that was his Goliath. The blue, it's hard to tell the difference between the dark blue and the lighter blue sometimes, especially on units like the Goliath. Goliath trying to burn down the carriers that, again, have 101 upgrades. You should be killing them so fast. Okay, and he does. He does take it out. These cannons get wiped out. We got factories up here. The actual mining happening from DLD. When's he going to build a thing is the question. Man, if either of these Terran teammates were any good, this game would have been over a million years ago. Stasis Arbiter immediately dies. Tetalino heading up the right side for defensive purposes here for Graphite's second base and maybe covering the main in case of attack. There's just so much. So much. I like Astrophysics has a bunch of obs, but they're all just in the same position. It doesn't actually help much. And scouts. Scout. No, more arbiters. Okay. I just feel like all arbiters can do is really just temporarily delay the problem of the carriers. I mean, yes, it can cut a carrier fleet in half and make them much easier to deal with. That's some carrier death sound. Whoever designed it, they had a good time. They had some inspiration that day they designed the carrier death sound, because that is awesome. That is so crazy good. All the sound design in StarCraft is good. What am I even talking about? Stasis, and then Arbiter dies. Because all he did was send it into stasis and didn't really have any further commands to give after that. Yowie is definitely the biggest threat here to Astrophysics. He's got 3-3 upgrades. Well, 3-3-3 upgrades. His carriers are now at 3-3-2. So, I mean, he can hang with the upgrades that RJB, I mean, Astrophysics is rolling with. And in fairness, the enemy does have enough ground units that Mass Scout wasn't going to do a whole lot. Indianul apologizes. I mean, he's trying. He's trying more than DLD is. DLD's got nothing going on. DLD is at 30 available supply, 8 SCVs. He's building turrets, which the enemy Dragoons are tearing down. I mean, I understand the sentiment behind getting turrets right now. Graphite says, ally all? Oh. Is that an offensive GG, or is that a GG for him? Is he like, can we just not get a loss on my record, please? I'd really like to have a win. Can we all ally? And no, nobody responds to him. At least Astrophysics doesn't respond to him, as far as we can tell. Could have whispered, I guess. Tedalino's upgrades are... Tedalino's at 3-3-3-2. Hey, good upgrades, man. Way to go. Way to get upgrades eventually. Gotta give you credit for that one. Losing a carrier, not targeting the next carrier very well. Dragoons coming out. And yeah, enemy Psy Storm coming from the south. Guess who? Yowie brings the Psy Storm in. Once again, carrier micro is a foreign concept to both Tedalino and Yowie today, and Graphite, to be equivalently observant or insane. I don't know, man. Well, carriers from Tedalino continue to die without really getting a lot of equivalent damage done. He's got a whole nother group of them, though. Congratulations. You cleared out this group, but there are another 10 over here. What is this? Another 7 I can count. Sometimes I can count. Come on, Indiano. You got this. He's building a bunker. He's, look at this. He's got a Goliath. He's fighting with it. He just got a kill. Yes! Go, Goliath of Indiano. Oh, got murdered. His whole position's in trouble from Graphite. Graphite's at +2 attack now. Congratulations, Graphite. I could not be prouder. Tedalino continuing to not micro his carriers. Again, stop me if you've heard this one. And he's just... Meowie's got enough Dragoons to hold. He's got the 3-3-3, so... You can't count on your upgrades to win situations where you have fewer Dragoons than the enemy does. That's not how it works. I love that Graphite is just sending 3 carriers over here. The storm attack on the SCVs of Indianul. He's got 34. I guess they're worth storming today. Yo, all right. 9 kills, 5 kills. All the SCVs in this position are dead, but I think he still has all the SCVs that are doing this really terrible mining. Oh my gosh, look at this traffic jam. Look at this traffic jam. Some of these dudes are, I think they're stuck in a loop or just kind of stuck back and forth behind these gates. Doing like a zigzag pattern to get to that command center. Anyway, yeah, we tried to make a home in the north. Astrophysics, we did our best, but nope. Not at all. Everything gets shut down there. Yowie trying to send Master Dragoon in, but I kind of feel like Astrophysics has an answer to Master Dragoon here. Siege tanks, Goliaths. The Dragoons do a lot of damage there too. I mean, the carriers I think are doing more. Yowie is sacking some of his own probes because he recognizes I don't need this many workers when I have 60,000 minerals. I think I'll be okay. Astrophysics continuing to try desperately to get a foothold out here. But every time he tries, enough Protoss shows up Man. Maybe? Maybe this time is the time that a foothold in the center of the map gets taken by Astrophysics. Not interested in that as he is in actually just killing Graphite. I think that's what he's trying to do now. Check this out. A little decent army from Indianu. I was not sure we'd hear from him ever again, but he's fighting hard. DLD continues to just have nothing to offer whatsoever. I mean, hard to see where he is on the minimap. I guess that's his. These are his missile turrets. That's fun. DTs and Reavers for Graphite on the defense. Let's go. Got any obs? There's an obs back here. Moving it up a little bit. Is he going to stasis the one? Going to stasis the Reavers? He stasises the Reavers, but the DTs are going to town on your tanks. Oh. Oh, more Reavers coming out. I mean, look, Reavers, if you want to control them optimally, you kind of have to have a lot of APM and a shuttle. But, you know, even not controlled optimally, even if you don't have 300 APM, you can kind of still make them work unless you're fighting against siege tanks, in which case they die. As we're seeing, freaking Tetolino's back with more carriers. He should be dead. I don't know how much more to express that Tetolino should be dead. His economy got ravaged early. His economy got ravaged later. His economy is still only 55 probes, which is probably his own fault more than anything else. And it's like the tiniest, babiest army over here trying to kill Graphite. It's not even that much stuff. I do like that Yowie sent up like 2 High Templar to save the day, and it's kind of working. He's just, yeah, he just can't, oh my gosh. He just can't get over there. Yeah, the Goliath Dragoon count is hefty enough that Tetolino again loses all of their carriers. Oh, Tetolino Arbiter's out. That's exciting. Do we have any carriers you're hiding? They all in production. They're all in production. With Arbiters, too. He's like, all right. Fire must fight fire here. A siege tank from Indianu. Let's go. One siege tank is on the move out. Wait, where are you going, man? Oh my gosh, he's got Goliath on his... He's at 77 supply. Indianu has officially picked himself up off the ground. Oh gosh. Shuttles from Graphite. What you doing, man? Is this tank still here? Is this the same one? Dude, I thought for sure he was going to lose that to the incoming Dragoon Reaver attack, but, the cloak is... This is the slowest death. This is the slowest death of anybody I've ever seen in Fastest Map. Look at how slow this death is for Graphite. Meanwhile, Yowie's back. He kind of carrier microed for a second. Then he was like, all the micro I need is sitting on the other side of this wall, and stasis. The 87th stasis thrown down today. Maybe it's the 100th. Who knows? Astrophysics. You cannot can in the middle. I have siege tanks. That's not allowed. Look at how kind of okay things are going at 12 o'clock. Indianu, 83 supply. He's producing Marines for some reason. There's 000 Marines, mind you. But they are Marines, nevertheless. They exist. They're providing something. Gateways are slowly dying here from Graphite. Siege tank firing on pylons. 14 kills on that one. 13 kills on that one. Reavers wiping out enemy Dragoons. Rallying Dragoons to their des. Stasis is going to wear off on these guys unless a new one comes in. And that's kind of just... Yeah. Okay, to be fair, the other thing that Stasis does is it takes a ton of your enemy's available supply and locks it up. If you kill their carriers, guess what they can do? They can make more carriers and come kill you. But if you stasis their carriers, they're in limbo. They can't make more carriers. They're supply blocked. And a ton of that supply cannot do anything for them. Another stasis. As soon as that guy moves at all, RJB, I mean, astrophysics is like blump. Blump. Oh. Oh no, Tedalino's coming in to save Graphite. That's not, no. That's not gonna help this game. Arbiter died, 16 kill siege tank, 13 kill siege tank. No match for the power of anything that can fly. And stasis. No, died to cannons first. Did not get the stasis off. Arbiter versus Goliath and Dragoons. No, everybody dies there. Kind of just moving through a bunch of cannons in the middle now. Woo-wee. I love this command center. Has been down here for DLD forever. He's building SCVs at it right now. He is building barracks down here. DLD's like, I guess I could participate somehow in this game. What do you think? Dude, you always got too many carriers. We're almost at an hour into this game. An hour. Stasis, stasis. Stasis. Okay, I mean, it works. I mean, Tedalino does not have a lot of money to build carriers. I kind of feel like if he killed all of Tedalino's carriers instead of stasising them, it'd be really bad for Tedalino. Yeah, the 4 tanks are not going to win this. Where's my anti-air? Where is the air support? It's kind of here, they're getting sort of intercepted by Dragoons from the enemy, folks. Yowie's working on a recall. Kind of feel like Astrophysics needs to recall in just a giant tank Goliath army, just right here, bunk. And then everything dies. He doesn't have to walk through. He's got this whole area to himself. He just hasn't recalled the tanks in a while. He's been too busy macroing and attacking and defending and building cannons, and it's been a lot of work over the last, half an hour. Carriers. Stasis up. Ooh, the Valkyries. So finally, Astrophysics builds some Valks. Pretty bad against carrier bodies directly, but they can do pretty well against interceptors in large numbers. You can evaporate a whole bunch of interceptors pretty darn quickly with a Valk. Well, a lot of Valks. It takes more than one, is the whole thing. But if you have a bunch of them, like that, 10 Valkyries plus 3 attack, you can kind of do it. Yeah, this attack, no, not happening. Team Red just has so much of the map right here. Yeah, see these interceptors die? Dude, it is a full control group. Okay, here we go. Carriers getting jumped on by these Valkyries. Some of them get stasis, and the Valkyries are like, maybe not. Maybe not if that many of our numbers are in stasis. Re-stasis by Astrophysics. Dragoons continuing to push into Graphite's base. Graphite defending, yes, but also guess who's here? Yowie is here too. Got dudes on the other side of the wall firing in. Trying to kill carriers with Dragoons is crazy, super annoying. Valkyries coming back in. You can see them taking shields off of these carriers. Everything does full damage to shields. It's just a matter of when you actually get down to the nitty gritty. There you go, carrier dead. Look at this Goliath. Very brave. Yes, the sky is controlled by the enemy, but they are stasis. Cloaked Valkyries, man. Dude, when do you ever hear that? Valkyrie is not attacking anything in particular, really. Boom, 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 boom. Stasis, stasis. Carriers continuing to fight. This is, again, the 137th stasis of the day is on display here at the 12 o'clock position. Carriers keep dying. Is this just, we're just running out of steam? Woo! I think eventually someone's just going to be like, all right, we're past an hour in this game, which we are. I'm out. Someone's just going to tap here. I am shocked that both Indianul and DLD are still in this game. And shocked that they're sort of kind of participating even. Very strange. Cannon Siege Tank is a pretty tough nut to crack if you are on offense. Defensively, again, very strong. Valkyries just attacking the bodies of the carriers, but once again, fall back. Fall back. The splash damage on anything that clumps is nice. Ooh, they're invisible. They're invisible. Oh, no, they're not. They killed the enemy obs, and I think they lost their Arbiter, too. So there it is. Ah, carriers obliterated by the Valkyries. Tetalina, 150 supply. Yowie, 196 supply. Continuing just to kind of park over here and harass a little bit. All this is going on. I'm not sure that Astrophysics needs to worry about it all that much. But, dude, look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff and all this stuff that's building from graphite. Oh, it is a tank recall. All right, Astrophysics recalls a tank in. Shut this whole thing down. Yeah, what a game for your Saturday, man. Did you think you'd be here for an hour-long fastest map today when you woke up? Probably not. Nobody expects the hour-long fastest map game. Not even me. This has been sitting in my folder for a while, and I was like, oh my gosh. This is an hour-plus long fastest map? Crikey. And it was. But it's been jam-packed. It definitely has not been people sitting back and kind of waiting for someone else to come get them. This has been Tetalino and Yowie and Graphite throwing stuff at Astrophysics consistently the entire game. I mean, at least once they got on their feet. Tetalino got hurt bad, really bad early, and kind of had a hard time coming back. Graphite continues to fight, dude. Continues to fight. Ah, another tank recall. Is he in range? I don't know, but the storm on the probes. Graphite's down to 19 probes. And I think most of them are down here, actually. All of them are probably down in the bottom right. Probably what's going on here. We're back. Yowie, more carriers. Stop me if you've heard this one. And then Tetalino's back to 196 supply. Carriers are here. Building interceptors. It takes a while. Does he have upgrades? 333. Good man having upgrades. Tetalino. We're an hour into the game. The Valkyries are just kind of, sort of winning. They're catching interceptors with their attack, so the carrier interceptor counts are plummeting. And they don't have much to defend, so a Dragoon shows up. Tanks handle those guys. Yeah, once again, look at these interceptors die. Interceptor count 0. Interceptor count 1, not even 1. And then, when they can't defend themselves, you kill them. If there was a Zerg on the map anywhere, I think Astrophysics would have tried to get some Devourers, because Devourer plus Valkyrie is the strongest anti-air thing in the history of StarCraft. If you Acid Spore a carrier and then bring the Valkyries in, every single carrier dies immediately. It's like, you can't even count how long it takes. It's just like one volley dead. Everybody dead. Devourer Valk. Incredibly strong stuff. Pushing south. Indianul's at 106 supply, man. He's got a Wraith Ball. Oh, what a baller. Cancel the cannon, says Indianul. Because... just lift the science facility. If you're trying to get out and you're stuck, it's the science facility's fault. Another stasis on Tetalino's carriers, pushing up from the north to the south. Team Red, though, is putting up some stiff resistance here. Once again, Interceptor's getting murdered. Valkyries. Fighting hard. So much of the supply from Astrophysics today is Valks. Is at 365 supply. Carriers dying. Interceptors getting absolutely erased. Yeah, interceptor count for these two carriers is nil. It's trying to build them, but they're getting shot in the face. If you don't have any interceptors, they build very slowly. As it turns out, Graphite +1 attack. On the way for his carriers. The Wraiths are fighting Dragoons. Wait, no, that's not what I thought you were going to do with the Wraiths. Indian, I love the Astros, just like, whatever, man. This is fine. You're contributing. If you want to kill cannons with your cloaked Wraiths, by all means. Do what you... Okay, then all the Wraiths totally, horribly die. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That's incredible. He's like, let me build some Wraiths to help. And I'm like, oh, cool. You're going to snipe down carrier groups? No, we're going to attack move Dragoons and cannons. Graphite's getting knocked out of this battle as well. And Astrophysics pushing south. Siege tanks, Dragoons, old time, tested and true. Shutting down this cannon thing of Tetalino's that's been here for quite a while. Oh, he's rallying Dragoons, but into the wrong position. They're all dying before they get anything done. Not that they were going to get much done, but at least die on your feet, man. At least die having killed something. This whole right side section of Yowie looks like it's in trouble. He's got a giant carrier group down here. Have the carriers been doing a lot today? Not so much, Yowie, I would argue. I don't... Yet we're still doing it. Hey, look, more Valkyrie versus carrier. Still going fairly well to the right side. Yowie's gateways are going down. Graphite's down to 103 supply. He's got a bunch of stuff down here. He's got about 5,000 minerals and like 12-ish, maybe 15, I guess. 22 total probes on the map. I guess they're probably all down here at this point. No, some of them are down here trying to build just in case something bad happens to this base too, as it seems like it probably will. Oh, look at this. We are building factories in the middle of the map. DLD. Who has taken over your keyboard, sir? Valks against carriers. Stop me again if you've heard this joke too many times, but yo, the Valkyries are pretty good against carriers. But Tetalino down to 187 supply. Man, this poor dude, what will he do with 187 total supply? Ton of Dragoons out here. This right side setup from Yowie is dead. Astrophysics at 340 supply. Tanks rolling down from Astrophysics. Tank production happening here too from Indianul. Moving up a little bit, you can kill some of those cannons with your 1-1 siege tank here. 1-1 siege tank. He's making battle cruisers. Yay! We do get BCs in this game. +1 attack on those BCs, mind you. And, okay, the 1 tank of Indianul dies. But then the 5 siege tanks that are upgraded for Astrophysics get the work done. They get it done, man. I'm going to ×2 this. I don't see... I kind of just see a slow march towards death for Tetalino, Yowie, and Graphite. Carriers of Tetalino moving out, but look at what the map's doing. Look at it change. A nice little move up in here. I kind of like that. Kind of like this move. And with the Dragoons coming in from the south, too. Dude, that is some coordinated stuff. Actually, it looks like what they're trying to do is take out Tetalino. Tetalino's away. Some of his carriers got stasis. A lot of his Dragoons are running into siege tanks now. Siege up, siege up, siege up all your tanks. Maybe not entirely necessary, but, yo, another stasis is available on that Arbiter, by the by. And trying to seat up in a position where maybe you're not actively getting smashed by cannons. Okay, well, that worked out in the end. Losing one tank is not that bad of a deal. Yeah, Tedalino's getting wrecked. He's got a pretty decent bank, and he's got some income down here to the south, too. Man, he's going to lose his economy in the main base for the third or the fourth or the fifth time today. Indianaul's battlecruisers need to join this party, and here they are. A battlecruiser operational. Trying to cruise on down. And try to help kill Tedalino. Your job is not really to fight cannons exactly. 2-1 upgrades as well. You fight pretty well against battlecruisers. I'm just saying, you do. You hit them pretty hard. You're pretty tanky against the interceptor attacks, especially if you have armor upgrades, which he does 4 total right now, with a couple more available with those upgrades. And yeah, battlecruisers finishing off what's left here of Tedalino on the left side, and it's 67, 136, 144 supply for Team Protoss, 390, 177, and 32 for Team Astrophysics. Graphite, rather, trying to build down here. Still not going to work out for him. Yeah, he just doesn't have enough carriers to handle these tanks. The Dragoon count is not as much either. Still trying to send Dragoons up into siege tanks, Tedalino is. He's trading out surprisingly well, considering he's not bringing any zealots to this party whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, let's just call this what it is. It is over. GG. Red is too strong, says Graphite. Nah, tongue out, says Astrophysics. Very master. Best ever, says DLD. Indianaul also heaping praise upon Astrophysics today, who has been carrying the entire team the whole time, yes. These Terran players are still not carrying their weight. Oh. That carrier just wandered into cannons. Just wanted nothing to do with the battlecruiser. Would rather die to cannons. Tedalino concave outside his front door. Battlecruisers rolling and rampaging in. And I mean, shoot. The battlecruisers are help cleaning it out. Tedalino taps. He doesn't say GG or anything. He just gone. And that's it. Yowie. He's like, I'm save the best demo of a red game. Check out my YouTube. RJB. It is RJB. YouTube.com/@RJBTV. Wait, RJB_TV. Check him out, man. I think he's been posting recently. I need to check that out. Anyways, yeah, the death of Yowie is consistently awesome here. But yeah, an hour and 14 minutes in a fastest map with 2 teammates who were pretty much garbage the entire time. RJB persists in the face of odds that are horrendous. I mean, it helps that he's better than everybody here. He's better than Yowie and Graphite and Tedalino. But still, 3v1 against players that you are better than, but maybe not that much better than, is it just a nightmare. Yowie is going to make them kill him. We're going to speed it up here, too. It's fun to watch a base get wiped out. It's kind of cathartic. But at the end of the day, it is finito. It is over. Graphite was eliminated. And so was Yowie. GG, says Astrophysics, and that's your GG. Holy cow. At the end of the game, Astrophysics, RJB, 82,000 minerals, 36,000 gas, 389 supply of the available 400 supply he's got for going 2 race. Valkyries were a huge game changer. He stasises everything that he has as a celebratory maneuver there, and that's a GG. Man. All right, 2,224,000 points for RJB. The next closest person is at 965,000 from Yowie. He ended up producing fewer things than Tedalino and kind of tying with Yowie, but he killed 3,299 units and losing 1,000. That is a 3-to-1 kill death ratio against Protoss. That'll get you wins. He raised 577 buildings And he outspent everybody by at least 2-1. And these two Terrans, man. Just, they were dead. Could never get back on their feet. That's it, dude. Man. Incredible game. Incredible. So I see why this was sent in. RJB performing well. Getting the victory. Check him out. I'll put a link to his YouTube in the description. And, man, after that effort, that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft BroodWar Remastered and a 3v3 fastest map for your Saturday. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And you can check me out at YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, Instagram, Blue Sky, and everywhere else like that. Until next time, as always, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Glad you're watching StarCraft in 2025. And you take care of yourself.